توی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, December 10, 2024. I'm Suleiman Talash and you are watching RTA News. Foreign Minister Maulavi Amir Khan Muttaqi held an introductory meeting with Ali Raza Bigdali, the new Iranian ambassador to Kabul. In this meeting, the Foreign Minister wished Mr. Bigdali success in his work and assured that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs would assist him in effectively implementing relevant matters. Also, in this meeting, the Iranian ambassador said that he intends to conduct high-level delegation visits between the two countries shortly to develop bilateral relations further. The political deputy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs calls on the citizens of the country to support the current Afghan government. Sher Mohammad Abbas Tanakzai says that ethnic and linguistic prejudice have now disappeared in the country and urged Afghan investors to invest inside the country. Mr. Tanakzai added that several years of war have left Afghanistan behind in progress and stressed that the country must be developed without foreign expectations. More details in report. Sher Mohammad Abbas Tanakzai, the political deputy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, says that ethnic and linguistic prejudice has disappeared in the country and urged citizens to support the current government. While speaking at the inauguration of the first phase of the new Kabul project, Mr. Tanakzai also pointed to the fall of the Syrian government, saying that authoritarian regimes would face the stand of the nation.
The
result of governments of pressure and force will be the same and they will finally fall. But they will fall in a way that they will be remembered in history with a bad name. The governments of justice and Sharia will always be written in golden letters in history. So let's write our system and government in history of Afghanistan in such a way that future generations will pray for us.
The political deputy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs urged Afghan investors living abroad to take advantage of the opportunity and invest inside Afghanistan.
I call on Afghans who have capital abroad. It is their duty to bring their capital back to Afghanistan and invest in Afghanistan.
In another part of his speech, he said that we should no longer expect foreigners to develop our country, but Afghans themselves should make the country self-sufficient in political, economic, and security sectors.
Today, in an atmosphere of peace and security, we need to use our arms and brains to build this country.
This is when the Islamic Emirate has implemented major projects in the country without foreign support over the past 3 years. Maulavi Sardar Ahmad Shakib, the ambassador of the Islamic Emirate in Islamabad, met with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Ishaq Dar, and Muhammad Sadiq Khan, the country's special representative for Afghanistan. The Afghan embassy in Islamabad says that bilateral relations, trade, regional connectivity, the problems of Afghan refugees and students, and various other issues were discussed in this meeting. Nuruddin Azizi, the Minister of Industry and Commerce, met with Aybek Osmanov, Uzbek ambassador in Kabul. In this meeting, both sides discussed the allocation of land for the construction of a cement factory in Samangan province, obtaining licenses for the transfer of necessary machinery and equipment for the implementation of land surveying projects in the northern regions, the development of the Termuz International Trade Center, the construction of hospitals and residential facilities, and the expansion of this market towards Afghanistan, as well as the establishment of an international halal exhibition in Termuz. Let's see more in this report.
Nuruddin Azizi, the Minister of Industry and Commerce, met with Uzbek Ambassador Aybek Osmanov in Kabul on December 9. In this meeting, the two sides discussed the allocation of land for the construction of cement factory in Samangan province, the acceleration of the implementation of the power transmission line, Sarhampur Khumri project, and its extension to Jalalabad city in Nangarhar province, the development of the Hormuz International Trade Center, and several other issues.
The two sides discussed the allocation of land for the construction of a cement factory in Samangan province, obtaining relevant licenses for machinery and equipment from Uzbekistan to Afghanistan to facilitate geological exploration projects in the northern regions of the country, obtaining Afghanistan's standard certificate for synthetic diesel of Uzbekistan. The arranging of the International Halal exhibition in Termuz was also discussed.
Economic analysts say that the development of economic relations between Afghanistan and Uzbekistan will pave the way for Afghanistan to become a trade bridge between South and Central Asia and strengthen its economic relations with other countries in the region.
Afghanistan can connect to European markets through Uzbekistan. It is also a convenient transit from Uzbekistan to South Asian countries. Therefore, meetings and negotiations can be the interest of both countries. This can be good and more important for improving conditions that improve infrastructure projects such as railways, agriculture, and cultural issues.
In this meeting, the Uzbek ambassador invited the Minister of Industry and Commerce to visit Uzbekistan, and it was also agreed that the Prime Minister of Uzbekistan would also visit Afghanistan.
Mullah Nuruddin Turabi, head of the National Disaster Management Authority, met with the head of the ACRO organization and signed a memorandum of understanding for cooperation with this organization. According to the National Disaster Management Authority, in this meeting, Mr. Turabi called on other aid organizations to provide more assistance to this authority in assisting needy and orphaned people in remote and disaster-stricken areas. Maulavi Atiqullah Azizi, Deputy Minister of Culture and Arts of the Ministry of Information and Culture, along with Ajmal Mewandi, Director of the Aga Khan Foundation, visited Chilsetun Garden. During the meeting, Mr. Azizi described Chilsetun Garden as an important part of the country's historical values and assured full cooperation for its preservation. The Minister of Education announced the start of a capacity building workshop for more than 500 academic members of the Northeast Zone Teacher Training and Professional Development in Kunduz Province. The ministry said that the 4-day workshop was held to explain the duties and responsibilities of the academic members of the professional development of teachers in Badakhshan, Takhar, Baghlan, and Kunduz provinces. The construction of 4 analog scales at the customs offices of Balkh, Aqina, and Kunduz provinces was completed and put into use by the General Directorate of Customs of the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance says that these scales were built for 15 million Afghanis to determine the weight of imported and exported goods. Qari Zainuddin Abed, Nuristan governor, referring to the order of the Prime Minister, tasked the security forces with arresting all those who are engaged in deforestation. Mr. Abed shared the concerns of the people of Kardar and Kamdesh with the participants, stating that several people in the mentioned areas are engaged in deforestation. The governor said that the security forces should prevent this activity sooner and has given full assurance by them. A 100-megawatt solar power generation system is being built in Laghman for the Eastern Zone for $80 million. The delegation for the Ministry of Energy and Water sent to the province said that the first survey of the project has been conducted and a site has been selected in the Mehtarlam Baba Desert for the installation of the system. And the final one is that 11 people were arrested in the connection with the use, sale, and transportation of drugs from 4 provinces of the country. The Deputy Minister for Counter-Narcotics of the Ministry of Interior Affairs said that the suspects were arrested by the anti-narcotics forces from Herat, Kapisa, Nimroz, and Parwan provinces. The deputy said that heroin, drug tablets, and alcoholic beverages were also recovered from the detainees. And that's all for tonight. Stay with us to stay updated. Have a good night.
پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا